Hello, boys and girls. Guess what time it is? It's Eureka Month. Today is December 17th, 2020, and our goal is to get a 90% or higher on our end of module. Today, we're going to be doing lesson 5, and our objective says, I can rename and tell measurement using centimeter cubes. So just like we were doing yesterday, we would just make sure that we name the unit and we are measuring correctly using centimeter cubes. Our key points. What do we need to know to be successful? Well, we need to know what centimeter is, and centimeter is a length unit. And instead of writing the whole word, we can always write the abbreviation, which is cm, stands for centimeter. And then we also need to know what centimeter cubes are, which is what we've been measuring with. So that has been our unit. And unit is what we have been using to measure. It's an object that we use to measure, and it is the same size. And then our rules, right, that we've learned. Remember that we have to have no gaps, no overlaps, and we have to make sure to align the endpoints. And then finally, length, how long something is. For example, this example right here, the pencil is 10 centimeter cubes long. And as you can see, they're also using centimeter cubes as their unit. How are we going to be successful today? Well, 1, we're just going to measure the length of the object. And 2, just complete the statement, just like yesterday. Ready? You don't need anything. You just need to sit. Make sure that you're listening and your eyes are on the screen. So, Ms. Gomez has a huge problem, and I need your help solving a problem because I know you guys are great problem solvers. So, my mom is traveling to different countries, but she wants to get me bracelets from Korea, from Brazil, and from France. The problem is she wants to make sure they fit, but the bracelets are over there, very far away in other countries, and my wrist is here with you guys in the classroom. So what can she do? Is there any way that we can help her? For example, let's think about it. Can I measure my wrist using centimeter cubes? But then how would she get centimeter cubes over there in another country? How about a string? Do you think that'll work? Well, we could measure my wrist with a string. And you know what? And I love all of those ideas about the different tools we can use. I know I could rely on you guys for some great problem solving. So, but which will be easier to use first? The string or the centimeter cubes? Get ready. Yes, the string, because it can wrap around my wrist, right? And centimeter cubes, can you wrap them around the wrist? No, right? We cannot. They will get all out of order. And remember, we don't want any gaps or no overlaps. So I could get a string and pretend the string is the bracelet. And then I could tie it around my wrist. And then how can we figure out how long the string is? Go ahead and share. And we are back in 3, 2, 1. I heard that we could use centimeter cubes. We could line up the endpoints, make sure that we don't leave any gaps, and make sure that they're not overlapping, right? If we use the centimeter cubes to measure the string, because remember, I can measure my wrist with a string, but then how are we going to know how long the string is? Well, let's review our rules for measuring accurately so that when we measure the string, we know how to measure accurately, which means correctly. So, first rule is that we must align the endpoints, and that's the end of objects in measuring. When the endpoints are lined up correctly, You see how the turtle's 5 centimeter cubes long? If the endpoints are not lined up, the turtle ends up being 4 centimeter cubes long. And we don't want that. We want correct measurements. We must also make sure that there are no gaps. Just like right here, the example at the top, we can see spaces. And we don't want that. We want to make sure it looks like the pencil at the bottom to get an accurate measurement. We do not leave gaps. And finally, we want to make sure there are no overlaps. So we want to make sure that the cubes are not right one on top of the other, and we must have no overlaps to get an accurate measurement. So these are rules we must remember so that when we get an accurate measurement or a correct measurement. These are very important rules for measuring accurately. So here's a tool that my mom is able to use to measure the length of the bracelet. She said every store, no matter where she is, uses this tool. Does somebody know what this is? Get ready. Yes, a ruler. So when have you seen a ruler before? Go ahead and share. And let's bring it back in 3, 2, 1. Eyes on the screen. So I heard some of you say that you've used it to draw straight lines in kindergarten, that you used it also to learn to count numbers, or that some of your parents have used this or your brother and sister to measure some things. So what do you notice on this ruler? Look at this ruler. What do we notice? Go ahead and share. And let's bring it back in 3, 2, 1. Eyes on the screen. I heard say that their numbers are going in order. We notice that the numbers are going in order, right? There are longer lines next to each number, and there's some shorter lines too, right in the middle of the big numbers. So let's see how the ruler compares to our centimeter cubes that we use to measure my wrist. So we're going to see how the ruler compares to the centimeter cubes that we've been using to measure things, right? 1, you see the centimeter cube right here? This is 1 centimeter cube. Now you see why they're called centimeter cubes, because each cube is 1 centimeter long. When something reaches this line point right here where it says, where you all see 1, we say that it is 1 centimeter long. So how long is this centimeter cube? Get ready. Yes, this cube is 1 centimeter long. Now we have 2 cubes. What do you notice now? Share. And let's bring it back in 3, 2, 1. Eyes on the screen. Yes, that if I lay down the next centimeter cube, you see how it's 1 more centimeter. Now we have 2 centimeter cubes, and they are 2 centimeters long, as you can see right here. So if I keep laying down more centimeter cubes, I will be it will line up next to the 3 in the ruler, which is 3 centimeters. And I can keep going to 4, 5 centimeters. So when we are measuring with centimeter cubes, we are using the same length unit as the people who use rulers. So when you are measuring with centimeter cubes, it's like we are measuring with a ruler. This ruler has a special name. We call it a centimeter ruler. What do we call this? Get ready. Yes, a centimeter ruler. So we call this a centimeter ruler because it measures using centimeters only. Now, boys and girls, this was it for today. It was a very short lesson. It was just a refresher of yesterday's lesson. And today we're going to continue to use Paradig to measure some more objects. See you all then.